Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Sci-Fi Sunday on this channel where we talk about something sci-fi related. And today we have to talk about Deadpool and Wolverine. Let's jump right into it. Okay, so there has been a bit of information that's come out about the Deadpool and Wolverine movie. And they're saying that it is plot details, and I kind of tend to think that it's plot details without exactly spoiling anything in the plot. In fact, this might sort of enhance it for you if you've already been excited about it, and it might also kind of worry you a bit. But we'll kind of get into this. So according to the Cosmic Circus, the official Marvel Zazzle store describes Deadpool and Wolverine. And they go on to tell us about the description of this movie, the synopsis of the movie, if you will. The Time Variance Authority, or TVA, was established in Loki as a bureaucratic organization that preserves the sacred timeline and monitors multiversal anomalies. But does the TVA, even with its power to manipulate time and space, know what it is getting into when it recruits Wade Wilson, aka Deadpool? Following a long-established bromance with Wolverine, played by Hugh Jackman, Deadpool, played by Ryan Reynolds, is about to team up with the Adamantium Man. And not only will they be working to defeat a range of villains plaguing the Marvel Universe, Bob, but they will be gate crashing into the MCU franchise too, putting their own R-rated spin, 20th Century Fox-styled twist on some of our favorite moments from phases 1 through 4. Expect to see a few cameos along with some iconic costumes and personalized products in our officially licensed store for Deadpool and Wolverine below. Remember, we are the best at what we do, and what we do best is very nice. This is the synopsis apparently given to the Zazzle store. And that's important because that kind of confirms one thing. It confirms that they are going to be doing what we thought they were going to be doing, and only what we thought they were going to be doing from the beginning. Revisiting things from previous MCU movies. Now, I've seen a lot of people speculate that this is where they're going at the end of the trailer and maybe jumping through a portal to do this. That is highly possible. That is actually highly possible, or this may be a portal that happens off screen in the trailer, like someplace during a time period of the movie we don't get to see in the trailer. That may be also a thing, but we already knew they were going to jump across dimensions and travel through various things. But this kind of makes me a little more excited to think of the possibility of them actually traveling across the MCU to visit things that we have seen before. I think that this doesn't really spoil a lot. I think that the synopsis is justified. However, here's the thing about it. This apparently got taken down pretty quick when it started gaining traction and people started noticing it. So that kind of tells me that maybe Zazzle had a bit too much information, or they gave away a bit more than Kevin Feige actually wanted them to, and then they kind of had to retract it. So they retracted it with basically a one-sentence phrase to establish that they were the place to go for your Deadpool and Wolverine goods. And that's okay as well, because I think that this company will see a little bit of traction just based on the hype that this synopsis got them. But I don't think that Kevin Feige and his group are too terrified of this information getting out. I think they just kind of looked at it and said, wait a minute, does this give out anything we maybe didn't want people to know? Because we all kind of suspected that this was going to be the case, that they were going to jump from one place to the other. We all kind of had our suspicions that they were going to be jumping into different phases across the Marvel universe and kind of messing with things. Now, I personally would love to see them go into Endgame or something. I would love to see that happen. Sometime during the Infinity Saga would be this really excellent thing to see in terms of Deadpool meeting up with Thanos. Sometime during the Infinity War saga, I think would be a really fun time to visit. Seeing him actually meet Thanos and the jokes that we would get about that would be a riot anyway. However, I don't see that as being the case. I do think we will probably visit other movies within the MCU, other events, and it's not going to be something as huge as Endgame or as huge as the Infinity Wars. I do think that we might get to see a bit of it, just a bit. Like anything that they can recreate easily, having them recreate an entire fight between Thanos and the rest of the Avengers and throwing Deadpool in there kind of is a lot of work. It's not something that's easily done. So you have to look at it that way too, that basically we're going to get to see him revisit times in the MCU, but they won't be times that are too hard for them to recreate. And I think this is probably why they took it down also, is they kind of wanted to keep people from guessing exactly what timelines they would visit, what parts of the MCU they were going to mess with, because ultimately what happens in this movie sets up everything for the future of Marvel, their new rebooted Marvel universe where the X-Men are now a part of it. This is kind of the beginning of that setup. So they have to make sure that they're establishing this and doing it well. And they do want you to be shocked as to where these guys travel to and what exactly they do once they get there. So I think that them doing this and taking it down like that is not a reflection on the information itself. However, I am thoroughly excited about this news. I love the concept of seeing this happen, and my mind just starts wondering as to where they could go and what things they could do. And just knowing that it's going to be Ryan Reynolds visiting other eras. And a lot of people speculate that we might see the Hawk in this movie as well. And if we do that, it'd be great to see Wolverine versus the Hawk would be absolutely something that everyone would love. I could see this actually happening at some point during the movie. I could see us seeing something in that regard. And it would be really cool. We might also get a chance to visit things that would mess with the timeline a little bit more, which is kind of why they might have taken it away. Just the speculation of what could mess with the timeline enough to make the X-Men always exist. So I think there might be something to that as well. And that sort of excites me too. The idea that we could finally get an answer as to whether or not Scarlet Witch is a mutant in the MCU or not. I think that that's going to be answered here definitely. This doesn't give away a lot of information, and people are speculating that this is the event that sends them into these other movies. And I don't know that that's true. I actually think that might come at some point earlier in the movie. I don't think that they're showing us a scene where they are jumping into some battle that's already happened. I think we'll get to see them do that at various points during the movie. But that's just my opinion. That's what I think about the situation. But that's where I'm going to leave it off to you guys. Does this news that they're going to be visiting other parts of the MCU movies come as a shock to you? Does it come as a surprise at all? Do you actually think that this makes you more excited, or does this worry you about the movie just a little bit more? I want to hear from you guys. As always, we want to hear from you guys. Make sure you leave us that comment in the comment box below. Make sure you're sharing this video with all of your friends. they're going to want to be a part of the conversation as well. Don't forget to hit that like button. It's free, it helps the channel, and we really do appreciate it. Miko says we need more subscribers, and you don't want to disappoint Miko. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell while you're down there so you don't miss a single video we do. And then friends, at the end of the day, I know it, you know it, and Miko knows it. Fandom is family.